In today's video, I'm comparing the Kindle Paperwhite versus the standard Kindle. Let's get right into it. Okay, friends, we are coming into the time of year where a lot of people are thinking about considering getting a Kindle, and you may know that I do have a Kindle myself. So I figured I've also done some Kindle videos here because I do like to touch on some tech from time to time here on the channel. Actually, probably more often than one would think. So I thought that it would be a good idea to compare the brand new versions of the Kindle Paperwhite and the standard Kindle. I think it might be called the Kindle Signature. I'm not too sure, so that's why I keep saying the standard Kindle. But yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to compare the two so that you can make a decision as to which one is best for you. And Ian just got a Kindle, and so I have a standard Kindle or the Kindle Signature here with me, as well as my own Kindle, which is a Kindle Paperwhite. So I'm going to go through the specs of the brand new versions of the Signature Kindle, Standard Kindle, whatever we're calling it, and the brand new version of the Kindle Paperwhite. And just to let you know, this Kindle Paperwhite is not the brand new version. Mine is slightly older. So I will be comparing the newer versions, even though I don't have it. And then I will also add in some insight into my older version one in case you want to get an older version Kindle. I have experience with this one, so I feel like I can share some insight into that as well. So there's like 3 Kindles we're technically comparing here, but 2 of them are the Kindle Paperwhites, and one of them is the standard slash signature Kindle, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's jump right into the specs, which I have written out, and I'm going to start with the size. So the size difference between the Kindles, and I will compare these two very shortly with you, like actually going through and touching and demoing things. The standard Kindle, the signature Kindle, is 6 inches, and the Kindle Paperwhite is 7 inches. So there is a significant size difference there, and mine in particular is 6.8 inches. So it's just very slightly smaller than the brand new Kindle Paperwhite, but it is still much bigger than the signature slash standard Kindle. The next thing is display. So both of them are glare free, and they both have front lit and the same brightness and the same 300 ppi display, which I think is very interesting because there is a big price difference, but like all of the display stuff is pretty similar. The only difference that I noted was that on the Paperwhite product description page, it says that the Kindle Paperwhite has a paper white display, like a very special one. They don't specify why it's special or what's special about it. Maybe we'll get to see it once I start demoing, but that's the only difference, honestly. And the same goes for my Kindle Paperwhite. It says like Paperwhite display. Okay, the next thing is colors. So the standard slash signature Kindle has a black color and a matcha color, which is this nice pastel-y, sagey kind of green. And then the Kindle Paperwhite, the brand new one, has a black, a jade, which is like a ruby, not ruby, like a darker kind of green, and then there's a raspberry color, which is like a ruby hot pink kind of color. For my Kindle Paperwhite, there's only one color. It's black. You can't see that it's black because I put a decal on it, but that's the only color that you can choose from there. Okay, the next specification is the battery, and I know this one's going to be important for some people. I've never had an issue with a Kindle battery ever in my life, and I've had multiple Kindles, but the battery on the Kindle Signature slash Standard is 6 weeks for one charge, and that charges in 2 hours. That's incredible, in my opinion. But the Paperwhite, the brand new one, has 12 weeks in one charge, and that charges in about 2.5 hours. My version has 10 weeks in one charge of less than 2.5 hours. So all quite comparable, but the Kindle versus the Paperwhite, there is like a big significant difference there. The next thing is storage. So both of them have 16 gigs of storage, and mine, you have the option, you can choose between 8 gigs or 16 gigs. I have 16 gigs. And then the last specification is speed. I know that's also a big thing in the Kindle community, but the Paperwhite claims to be the fastest Kindle out there now, period. And it says that it's 25% faster. There's no like actual specific thing noted on the product page for the Paperwhite nor the other Kindles. It just says that it's the fastest one out there at 25% faster. So I don't know what that exactly means. Again, I will demo it in a second to see the difference, but that's just something to note, and that's the brand new Kindle Paperwhite, not the Paperwhite that I have, which is a couple years older. Okay, some miscellaneous specifications. Firstly, with the Paperwhite, the brand new Paperwhite. The brand new Paperwhite has an adjustable warm light. It has a flush front design, meaning like there's no ridges on the front screen, and it is waterproof. And all of those things are the same with my Paperwhite, so those don't change from one Paperwhite to the next. I don't know if I mentioned this at all in the video, but the Paperwhite that I have is not the newest one, but it's the one right before it. So it's a couple years older. My Paperwhite in particular mentions that you can connect Bluetooth. It has Bluetooth connectivity so that you can listen to audiobooks through Audible on it. None of the other product pages for the brand new Paperwhite or the Kindle Signature / Standard has any mention of that. So just keep that in mind if you are interested in listening to audiobooks through your Kindle. And then all three of these Kindles have accessibility settings. They support multiple formats. It's not just that EPUB format that is very specific to Kindles or e-readers, but you can also put documents, PDFs, text, images, even GIFs on them, so that's pretty cool to see. And they all have ad-free options and Kindle Unlimited options as well. And then the one miscellaneous note that I will say about the Standard / Signature Kindle is that it is significantly lighter, and the product page notes that it's the lightest, I think that's what the product page says, but it's significantly lighter in weight than all of the other Kindles. And then the final thing that I should note, this is probably the most important thing, is the price. So the Standard / Signature Kindle is $85, about $85. The brand new Paperwhite is $125. And I'm pretty sure, I couldn't find the price on mine when I checked, but I'm pretty sure I got mine at also $125. It's probably discounted now that there's a newer version of the Paperwhite. So overall, I think in terms of specs, there are some major differences between all of the Kindles, but most of them are kind of subtle, if not very subtle. So do with that information what you will, but now I'm actually going to compare these two, like actually use the two. And the first thing that I just want to note is the size difference. They are so different in terms of size. This one is super, super tiny, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, I love that. This one is also, well, I don't have my, I mean, it's not significantly, but it is thinner, and the lightness is also very, very obvious. This one is bigger, so it's obviously a little bit more weighty, but this one is so small and lightweight. I'll be so honest with you. This is my Kindle. I'm very, very jealous about Ian's Kindle because I love how small and light and compact it is. I'm really, really jealous. Like, I want that one, but I also just got this Kindle, so like I'm not trying to get another brand new Kindle, especially when I had a whole video, I think a year ago, where I talked about the fact that these devices should last a lifetime, and yet they are incentivizing so many ways for us to have to get another one. Not really incentivize, but force us to have to get a new one. But anyway, besides the point, that is like the biggest difference that I noticed. Now I'm going to turn them on. The buttons are both at the bottom. Let's start with turning this one on. That turned on like almost instantaneously. And now this one, that took like a half a second longer. So they are pretty comparable in terms of turning on really quickly. And now I'm just going to swipe a couple of times so that we can see the swiping speed here. So that's very fast in my opinion. I'm actually going to click on something and see how long it takes to load. That took like maybe 3 or so seconds to click on a product page, 5 seconds maybe to load the entire page. And now let's do the same here. So it took a second to start up, but it's going just as fast. Very fast. It might be a touch faster actually, even though mine is technically old now. I'm going to click on a product. That was like immediate. So this is definitely going much faster than this one, even though this one is newer. However, this is a Paperwhite and this is a regular standard Kindle. I mean, I would hope that I would have a slightly better performance if I'm paying more. Okay, some other things that we can test here is the brightness. So I'm going to put mine all the way to the highest brightness, and then I'm going to put this one also to the highest brightness. Oh my gosh, this is an obvious one. Mine is way, way, way more bright. And actually looking at it, the whole paper white thing, like it was saying it had a paper white screen. Looking at the screens, aside from the obvious like brightness, they look extremely similar. I mean, this one doesn't have as much warmth either. I can adjust my warmth. I made it cool there. I guess, yeah, this looks more like paper and this looks more like a screen, I guess, looking at it through the viewfinder. But they are so similar, if I'm being for real. And I'm going to change the warmth so you can see how that looks. This Kindle doesn't have that option. This one does. And I actually really like that touch because I like a little bit of warmth, as you saw that my original settings were on something a little warm. So I kind of like that too. Okay. And when I swipe down, you can also see the settings are the same. We've got the airplane mode, Bluetooth. So this one does have Bluetooth. Dark mode, sync, all settings. And actually, it has Bluetooth, but I don't know what that means in terms of the Audible and listening to audiobooks. But just something to keep in mind once again. I mean, Ian doesn't have any books set up just yet. Let's see. He actually does have like one of my older books. I just love how tiny this is. Also, the color is just so cute. I love the sagey green. Oh my gosh, it's so tiny. I'm obsessed. Okay, so I am in an actual book here, and I want to see if I can adjust the sizing of the text. Is that possible here? Oh, yes, it is possible. The sizing is possible to change. The layout, such as orientation, margins, spacing, and then if I hit more, there are more settings as well. I'm pretty sure that's the exact same for me, but let me just double check. Mine has themes, actually. It has standard, compact, large. It has the layouts, the same layouts. It has more settings. I think the only difference is that I can actually change the font on mine. I can change the boldness of the font, and I can change the size. So that's another little detail that I think is significant in my opinion, because I am kind of particular about those kinds of things. I think that's pretty much it. When I open up the settings on the top, like over here, the settings are the same on this Kindle as well. So this kind of proves that while the Kindles can have some very, very significant differences between one another, they can also be quite subtle and sometimes extremely subtle to a point where it might not even matter. So when choosing a Kindle that is right for you, it really depends on whether or not those details are super important to you or not. And if they are, you might want to spend a little bit more to get those nice details. And if they aren't, then a standard Kindle will work just fine. For me, I like the little details and having the option to use those little details or utilize those little details, but also I'm so obsessed with the size of this and the lightness of this that I probably, if I could go back, I would probably go with this one, to be completely honest with you. The only reason why I went with a Paperwhite to begin with is because I had a Paperwhite before this, like the very first one perhaps, and I liked it so much. And at the time when I had gotten that very first Paperwhite, it was mind-blowing. It was like the first of its kind. It was like, it feels like paper compared to the older Kindles that just look like a very, I don't know, like a very dimly lit, poorly lit screen with e-ink. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I think I would probably go with this one if 2025 me could choose. I really want to steal it from Ian, but I won't because I got it for him and I want him to enjoy it. Oh, another thing that I should have noted through the demo is that there's like a ridge here. There's a little dip here, whereas mine is completely smooth. Like, there's no dip, there's nothing like that. And that's something that I actually like with this Kindle because, as you can see, I have a decal on this one. I feel like the decal would fit even better on this kind of Kindle that has a ridge and just feel right, as opposed to this one where it felt like I was putting a sticker on the screen, even though I'm not blocking anything, but it just feels that way. Anyway, I think those are all of the thoughts that I can possibly think of here, but you let me know which Kindle looks and sounds more interesting to you. If you are getting a brand new Kindle this year, or if you are sticking with the one that you have, I am all for those who stick with the one that they have, to be honest with you. As you probably know, I've done a video on this before, but thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful and interesting at the very least, and I will talk to you in the next video.